Ladies and gentlemen, the hunter became the hunted today. Fred Matiangi, the former powerful cabinet secretary for Interior, was today interrogated by junior officers for 8 good hours at the DCI headquarters. If you ask me, the event today is significant and will definitely shape the politics of this country. Either it will make Matiang'i or it will destroy Matiang'i. It will make Kenyans to view William Ruto in a different way, which will work against him or in his own favor. So I want us to do a critical analysis of Fred Matiangi's grilling at the DCI headquarters. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. What we do on this channel is that we analyze politics in a way you can't find any other place. So the best thing you can do is simply to subscribe. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And I want to make a request to you for this particular video. Don't assume, please press that thumbs up button, and you can also drop your comment and let me know any other thing which you might have noted during Fred Matiangi's grilling. And let me ask you this question as a subscriber or as someone who is watching this video for the first time. Do you think Fred Matiangi is paying for the sins he committed against Azimio supporters? Because the truth of the matter is that Fred Matiangi was in a position to help Raila Odinga become the president of the Republic of Kenya. Let me read your comment on that. But let us now focus on the analysis. And I'm going to give it a kind of approach. The first thing I want us to look at is the arrival. How did Matiangi arrive? Because yesterday I did a video here and I suggested what Matiangi should actually do, and I saw they implemented some of the things. How did Matiangi arrive at the DCI headquarters, if you followed the event? Fred Matiangi arrived there accompanied by his lawyers and Azimio leaders. There was Omalwa, a former colleague. There was Onyonka, the Kisii senator, who has been a close ally of Matiangi. There was the Nyamira senator, Okongo Omogeni. And then there was Otiende Amolo. That legal team, and Danston Umari. That legal team, in my view, was put together by Raila Amolo Odinga. The presence of Azimio leaders or these lawyers were intended to give the whole thing a political perspective. So that the moment you saw Tienda Molo there, you saw Nyonka there, you saw Mogeni, you saw Amalwa, you saw Sifuna, you saw those other MCS, it became clear that it was now a political event. The other thing which was notable during the arrival was the presence of the Gusii community, especially the border around the area. And why is that important? It's important because probably Matiangi mobilized his community to stand with him at that particular event. So for me, the way he arrived there is significant. Again, if you noted, when he arrived, the DCI stopped him. They didn't want him to get in. You know, he was invited. When he arrived, they didn't want him to get in. At some point, they locked the door that the lawyers could not get in. Then later on, they accepted the lawyers to get in. So which means the way he arrived actually even shocked these people. So that's the first thing which I noted. Then after the arrival, the second thing which also caught my attention was the 8-hour grilling. Why would you grill someone for 8 hours? Then at the end of the day, you tell the country that this guy wrote a statement, and that statement is nothing, blank. The intention of the 8-hour grilling was intended to serve several purposes. The first purpose was that it was kind of, these guys were waiting for orders from someone else before they could proceed. According to Otinda Molo, Matiang'i was grilled for 15 minutes. Immediately they settled. Then these guys disappeared. And they were constantly on phone call consulting. The 8 hours was intended to wait for a call. Number two, it was also intended to provoke Matiang'i's anger. You know, Matiang'i was a very powerful cabinet secretary, a very busy man. Then he's here at the DCI. He's kept waiting in a room, being grilled for 15 minutes. The junior officer then disappears. Then he's waiting there 1 hour, waiting 2 hours, waiting 3 hours, waiting 4 hours, waiting. Matiang'i is a kissy. So this guy knew that. So they wanted to provoke anger in him. And those are some of the things they really wanted. They wanted to make Matiang'i angry, to cause drama, and probably it was going to be documented somewhere. The good thing, the lawyer told Matiang'i, shut up, just remain silent. And I'm told at some point, they tried to give Matiang'i the mugshot. You know, these things they carry. Oh, I, Fred Matiangi, you know, try to do what. I'm told they almost went physical because Matiang'i and the lawyers said no. So I'm imagining a situation where the next day in our newspapers, we were going to have Matiang'i, a person who most Kenyans, just leave politics out of it, most Kenyans believed in the first term was the best cabinet secretary, in the second term was the best cabinet secretary. Even if that was not the case, a man who just served the country as a cabinet secretary just a few months ago, being forced to carry placards. So the 8 hour was for that. And again, these 8 hours was also intended to mark time so that the interrogations was not going to be concluded. Then after that, it was going to go till late in the night. Someone will say, we meet tomorrow. Way back kwa cell. The third thing, which I think was also genius, was the silence approach. Matiang'i and his lawyers decided to remain mum. His statement is blank. Let me just get for you a tweet which I got from Nairobi. From a tweet by Cliff Ombeta, William Ruto's lawyer. This is what Cliff Ombeta said about this approach, that you give them nothing to go by, they must then use what they have, if any. They have nothing from you to dissect or analyze. So which means the approach, because this is a lawyer from the other side, he's trying to interpret for us the approach, that the approach which these guys used was that they didn't want to give the police something to digest or analyze. Because if you are interrogated, then you'll write a statement. Then tomorrow they'll come with something from that statement. And Ombeta is also saying Matiang'i's charges, blank statement, charge and caution certificate on blank paper. Clever lawyers. So Ombeta is also agreeing that these lawyers were very, very clever. And there's something which is saying here that nil by mouth, speaking as a lawyer, deny, then say nothing and write nothing, finot nitatoma. So basically, the thing is, the approach was intended to achieve two objectives. Number one, give these guys nothing, so that they'll have nothing to go by. Number two, nil by mouth simply means you are denying the charges. So if they want to charge you, don't give them reasons. Let them charge you, then you meet in court. So the silence part of it was also something which caught my attention. Number 4 was the anti-terror police unit. Why do you think these guys decided at some point to bring anti-terror police unit when we know for sure that in places like Samburu, there are bandits. Places like Elgeyo Marakwet, there are bandits who actually even eliminated people today. Why do you think the unit was brought on board? 2 reasons why they brought it there. Number 1 is show of power. You know, the way those units are normally dressed, they will always scare people. When you see them, you will freeze. Even when you are planning demos and you see them, you will be shocked. Fear will fill you. So they wanted to show power by having these guys. Why would the elite unit be brought when Matiang'i is in and they are guarding the building? Is Matiang'i a criminal? You know? So those are the questions. So basically, the people behind this, Ruto, Rigathi, they wanted to show power. Number 2, I think the other intention was to rearrest Matiang'i after release. That this unit is very good at doing that. Then once you are rearrested, then you are taken to their headquarters. Nobody can access that place once you are taken. So if you ask me, something is convincing me that this team was on standby. They released Matiang'i because he had that order barring them from arresting him. Then now the unit will come, because this unit, they don't follow the law. They don't follow orders. So this unit was then going to come, take Matiang'i. I remember how we really chased the guys who took Miguna from the court. You know, we had Miguna had presented himself before court at the instigation of Ruto and the team, and maybe Jubilee at that time. Then, from nowhere, when Miguna was leaving, these guys just snatched him and they sped off. So actually, we followed Miguna. We sped off. We followed Miguna up to Kajiado, I think. Was it Kajiado or Narok? Up to Kajiado. When they realized we were there already, something happened. Miguna was brought to the airport. And that's how he was deported. That's why sometimes I laugh when I see people talk about Miguna here. I don't have time for that man. He's a guy who is he's thankless. Now, that was the essence of having that unit. Then, the other thing which was notable was the demonstrations in Kisii and Nyamira. If you followed my analysis yesterday, I said that this is the moment for Matiang'i to emerge. This is how Uhuru made Ndindi Nyoro. This is how Uhuru made Rigathi. Unnecessary arrest. So for me, the demos in Kisii and Nyamira was significant for this particular matter. Number 1, it rallies the entire Gusii around Matiang'i, but politically. So for me, the people who organized these demos had politics at the back of their minds. Then once that achieved, then it also helped to prepare ground for homecoming. Fred Matiangi must, as a matter of urgency, organize a serious homecoming in Nyamira, in Kisii. That homecoming should start at Soneka, all the way mpaka Kisii Stadium, one day, and heavily mobilized, so that Matiang'i can now start his politics from this small thing. But I don't know whether Matiang'i is a politician. The last thing which I observed is Raila Odinga's presence and arrival. I already did a separate video about Raila Odinga's presence there. But if you ask me, I'm certain that Raila Odinga came because probably someone inside here, one of the lawyers, told him the way we are seeing these guys, they're marking time and they want to delay Matiang'i. And they're wasting time. It's already 8 hours, nothing is happening. So maybe they're planning to arrest him and take him into a cell. So come. So the intention of Raila Odinga coming, in my view, was to pile pressure. And indeed, when Raila Odinga came, those guys locked him and he told them, if you want problems, you will get problems. Or you want me to ask these guys to open the door. If you want problems, you'll get problems. And that's the moment Matiang'i was released. Maybe if Raila Odinga had stayed out of the place, maybe, I'm just saying maybe, Matiang'i would have been inside as we speak. Which begs the question, why is Matiang'i being arrested? Why not Karanja Kibicho? Why not Uhuru Kenyatta? Why not Peter Munya? Why Matiang'i? It's because of tribe. Kenya Kwanza will not arrest Karanja Kibicho. The Kikuyu nation will not allow him. They will view him as someone who is out to frustrate those who worked with Uhuru Kenyatta. Because of course Uhuru Kenyatta is still helping them play their politics, but they will not want a situation where one of their own is frustrated. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.